going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about CPUs and PCIe lanes. So let's get right into it.
As a crypto miner, you know you want your equipment to be high quality. Proper cable management is part of your mining rig, and the Veteran Miner has you covered. The Veteran Miner cables are created with the best materials to ensure they are of the highest quality. Our cables are made of 16 gauge tin copper, ensuring another layer of protection from oxidation and corrosion. We support our products with a 100% guarantee. Visit our website at www.theveteranminer.com and get the best cables for your mining setup.
All right, so I've been getting a lot of questions recently about all kinds of stuff relating to the AI game here that we're getting into. People are asking me about CPUs, they're asking me about RAM, they're asking me about all kinds of things, and I kind of wanted to make this video just to kind of educate people about consumer grade hardware and what type of lane configuration they can expect from particular CPUs and stuff like that. Let's go ahead and head over to Vast for a second, and I'm going to show you why I want to do it, why I want to do this. So we're going to head over to my vast.ai, and you can see that for some reason, this guy put it on my account. This guy's been on my account. I don't know how they keep doing this, because nowhere in the setup guide is this actually working. That there's not a command that gives me their stuff. What I think is happening is they didn't make a Vast account and it's defaulting over to me, is what I think is happening. You can see here that he's using a BTC mining motherboard, and this is a mining rig. He has 5 1070s on here, and he's using an i3 2360M with 4 cores, 8 gigs of RAM. So he's using a USB stick. I mean, nobody's gonna rent this thing. I just trolled and I set the price for $1, but you can't even rent this rig because they're 1070s. They don't even support 1070s, so the rig is like freaking useless. I just trolled and I set it for $1. If you come down here, I got my Epic up. I got it up last night. It is a Epic 7551. It is 32 cores and 64 threads, 64 gigs of RAM, and I have a 1 terabyte, just 2.5-inch SSD in there. I have two 3080s on it right now, and then but I want to get into PCIe lane connectivity, because you see PCIe 3.0 at 16 and PCIe 3.0 16 on the Xeon workstation that I have as well. So I kind of want to give some examples of PCIe lane configuration. As you can see here, this guy has a mining rig, and then this guy down here, he also has a mining rig. This is on a Z490. It's 23070s. It's on 3.0 at 4 lanes, but is using a Celeron processor, which is a 5905 with 8 gigs of RAM. Okay, it's just, this is another mining rig, right? I don't know how you would game on this, because this only has 2 cores. So let's go to some of my examples that I have here, and I could show you about the PCIe lane configuration, right? So let's get over to, I want to show you what consumer grade level hardware has, right? So this is an Intel Celeron processor. It is a G5900, and I wanted to start at the bottom because I want you to see the lane connectivity. The PCIe lanes directly relate to the CPU itself. So if we come down here, max number of PCIe lanes is 16. That's as many as lanes as this thing will ever have. Is even if you had a motherboard that supports more PCIe lane connectivity, the CPU itself is what's going to limit you, because these are where the lanes come from. All right, so this is just a Celeron processor, bottom of the barrel. Okay, now let's go up to an Intel i5 13500K. This has a max number of PCIe lanes of 20, so you really only gained 4 lanes, right? So you didn't really gain a lot of connectivity here, even going to a much higher end CPU, right, which is on new architecture. So let's go over to Ryzen and let's see how many they give. Now, Ryzen, and this is, you can see all these different models as well. Max number of lanes is going to be 24, pretty much across the board. except for some of these other models here. These are laptops and stuff like that, APUs. Some of the APUs won't have as much, but typically everything above the 5600G and up will have 24 lane compatibility. So you can see here that there's not really a whole lot of lanes. Like, whoa, man, that has 4 more lanes than the other one. Well, consumer grade hardware doesn't typically have a lot of lane connectivity because you are not that if you're trying to run multiple GPUs on Vast, using consumer grade hardware like Ryzen and Intel are not going to be is not going to be your ticket, right? So I wanted to now I'm going to show you the enterprise world, and I'm going to show you how many lanes some of these other CPUs have that people are using on Vast and things like that, right? So let's go ahead and let's go over to the Xeon processors, the older Xeons that I have, right? My workstations. This is a 26 E5 2660 V3. It has a max number of PCIe lanes of 40. So we have quite a few more lanes here. Not as many as some other big boy stuff. But what I'm trying to show you guys here is that if you want multiple GPUs on a motherboard, you're going to have to go into the server world, get workstations, buy used Supermicro motherboards, and get used Xeon processors if you guys want to run multiple GPUs, unless you're going to run them at an X1 speed. And I'm not seeing you guys are going to get picked up if you guys are running at X1, right? You're not. It's not going to happen. You won't be very competitive in the Vast world, right? So let's go over to an Epic and let's see what the Epic gives us. This is the 7551P. This is my Epic that I own. You can see down here that the max number of lanes at PCIe generation 3.0 is 128 lanes. Lots and lots of connectivity here. Lots of connectivity on the Epics. You will not you will not run out anytime soon. The Epics are really great at having lots of connectivity. Same with the Threadrippers, also have lots of connectivity because they're pretty much the one and the same, the Threadrippers and the Epics. I just wanted to take the time to show you guys, if you want to run multiple GPUs on Vast and you want to have the lanes for it, you will need to get into the enterprise world and move into the Xeons, or you will need to move into the Epics or Threadrippers and things like that. You're not going to find great lane connectivity with the new i5s and the Ryzens. You won't find it here. I want to show you guys how expensive this stuff is, because it's not very expensive, right? Let's go to buy now. Okay. Look, we have an E5 2660 V3, 10 cores, 20 threads right here. $7.90. Cheap CPU, right? And if you need a workstation, I have plenty of them that these fit in, so you can come hit me up. But you could put these in all kinds of workstations, right? Or whatever, you know what I mean? Let's do the Epic next. Let's do Epic 7551, and let's see what the 7551 is going to cost us. It's going to cost me $100. These first generation Epics now are getting pretty cheap because of all the new generations that are coming out right now and have already come out. So your ability to get an Epic is really, really cheap, right? And let's say you wanted to do an Epic motherboard combo. They have a 7550P with an H11 SSL, which is the one this is the same board I have right here for $370. You get the motherboard and you get the CPU. So there is tons of great options out here for vast.ai. But if you're gonna want to run multiple GPUs on Vast, you are going to need the lane connectivity from Epics or Xeons. So depending upon how many GPUs you want to run, if you want to run 2 or 3, you could use older Xeons. If you want to run like 6 or 8, you're definitely going to need an Epic to be able to do that. So just do your research on whatever CPU you're going to choose and how many GPUs you want to use. Make sure that you're checking your PCIe lane connectivity for the motherboard and CPU and what they're both compatible with. All right, guys, this is the Mining King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.